As Sarah sat alone in her dimly lit living room, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Her parents had left for a dinner party, leaving her alone for just a few hours. The soft ticking of the antique grandfather clock echoed through the silent house. Sarah tried to distract herself by watching TV, but the flickering images on the screen only heightened her unease. She heard a creaking noise coming from upstairs, like someone taking slow, deliberate steps. Her heart raced, and she muted the TV to listen more closely. The footsteps continued, getting closer and closer. Panic set in as she realized that no one else should be in the house. She knew she had to call the police, but her phone was upstairs in her bedroom. Sarah gathered her courage and decided to make a dash for the stairs. As she climbed them, the footsteps seemed to follow, echoing ominously. She reached her bedroom door, trembling as she pushed it open. The room was shrouded in darkness, and the only source of light was the faint glow of the moon through the window. Her phone lay on the bedside table, just out of reach. She stretched her arm toward it when suddenly, a cold hand grabbed her wrist. She screamed and pulled away, falling backward onto the floor. As her eyes adjusted to the darkness, she saw a shadowy figure standing in the corner of her room. Its eyes glowed with an eerie, otherworldly light. Terrified, Sarah crawled backward, her heart pounding in her chest. The figure began to move toward her, its movements unnatural and jerky. She couldn't make out its face, but the sense of malevolence was palpable. With a burst of adrenaline, Sarah scrambled to her feet and dashed out of her room. She could hear the figure pursuing her down the dark hallway. Desperation overcame her as she reached the top of the stairs. She threw herself down them, rolling and tumbling, and landed in a painful heap at the bottom. Gasping for breath, Sarah managed to crawl to the front door and flung it open. She staggered out into the night, tears streaming down her face, and ran to the neighbor's house, where she frantically called the police. When the officers arrived, they searched her house but found no intruder. They told her it was probably just her imagination playing tricks on her, but Sarah knew what she had seen and felt. She never felt safe in that house again, and her parents never left her home alone after dark. To this day, Sarah can't forget the horror of those 3 minutes when she was home alone, with something sinister lurking in the shadows. The eerie feeling of being watched haunted her every night as she lay in bed. Months passed, and the incident faded from her mind, until one evening, as she was browsing through an old family photo album, she came across a faded photograph of her great-grandmother, who had died many years ago. In the photo, her great-grandmother had the same eerie, glowing eyes as the figure in her room that night. Chilled to the bone, Sarah realized that what she had encountered might not have been an intruder at all but something far more sinister and otherworldly. The memory of those 3 terrifying minutes would continue to haunt her, as she delved deeper into the dark secrets of her family's past.